know what they say when I walk into a room. Look at her, 50 years old, and she dresses like that. Look at the young men following her like puppies. She must be desperate for attention. Let them talk. They see a woman in a red silk dress with a glass of Pinot Noir. They see a cougar looking for her next prey. But they don't see the truth. My name is Veronica. I am 52, I am wealthy, I am single, and yes, I have a taste for younger men. But not just any men. I hunt the hunters. 3 months ago, I met Caleb. He was 26, gorgeous, charming. He told me I looked like his dream woman. He swept me off my feet. He took me to dinner. He spent the night in my bed. He thought he had hit the jackpot. A lonely, rich, older woman he could manipulate, drain of her fortune, and discard. But he didn't know that I knew exactly who he was. He didn't know that the diamond necklace I wore was a tracking device, and he didn't know that every time he whispered, "I love you," in the dark, I was recording him for the FBI. This is the story of how I seduced a scammer, broke his heart, and sent him to prison, all without breaking a nail. Before I tell you how I trapped him, I need to know who is listening. Pause the video right now, go to the comments and tell me, where are you watching this from? And tell me, do you think age matters in a relationship, or is it just a number? I'm reading every single comment. Now, let's order a drink. It started at the Sapphire Lounge in Miami. It's the kind of place where the lighting is low, the music is jazz, and the drinks cost $30. I was sitting at the bar. I was wearing my signature scent, jasmine and sandalwood. I had my legs crossed, showing just enough skin to be interesting. I wasn't there to date. I was there to work. My friend, Brenda, had lost her life savings, $200,000, to a romance scammer. A young man who courted her, promised her marriage, got access to her accounts, and vanished. The police couldn't find him, but I knew where men like that operated. I saw him at 9 p.m. He was tall, dark hair, blue eyes, a smile that could stop traffic. He was wearing a fitted suit that looked expensive but was actually a cheap knockoff. His name was Caleb. Or at least, that's what he was calling himself this month. He spotted me. He scanned my jewelry, Cartier watch, real. He scanned my bag, Hermes, real. He walked over. "Is this seat taken?" he asked. His voice was smooth. "It is now," I smiled, turning to face him. "I don't usually do this," he lied. "But you are the most stunning woman in this room. I couldn't forgive myself if I didn't buy you a drink." "I'm Veronica," I said, extending a hand. "Caleb," he said, kissing my knuckles. "I'm in import-export." "Fascinating," I said. "I'm recently widowed. My husband left me a portfolio I barely understand. I'm just looking for a distraction." I saw the greed flash in his eyes. It's a subtle look, a tightening of the jaw, a dilation of the pupils. He saw a victim. We talked for 2 hours. He was good. He listened. He complimented my intelligence, not just my looks. He touched my arm gently. "You don't look 50, he whispered, leaning close. "You have an energy. It's magnetic." "You're too young for me, Caleb," I teased. "You could be my son." "Age is irrelevant," he said, his hand sliding to my waist. "It's about connection, and I feel a connection." I let him walk me to my car. I let him kiss me. It was a good kiss, practiced. "Can I see you again?" he asked. "Call me," I said, handing him a burner phone number. I drove away. As soon as I turned the corner, I wiped my mouth. I called my contact, Detective Miller. "I made contact," I said. He bit. Be careful, Veronica. This guy isn't working alone. He has a partner. They can be violent if they get exposed. Don't worry. I checked my makeup in the rearview mirror. I'm not going to expose him. I'm going to make him fall in love with me. For the next 3 weeks, I played the part of the infatuated older woman perfectly. We went to dinners, we went to the opera. I paid for everything, of course, but I made it look like I didn't care. Money is meant to be enjoyed, Caleb, I told him over oysters. He started spending nights at my villa. This is the part that makes people uncomfortable. Yes, we were intimate. I had to be. If I held back, he would suspect I wasn't falling for him. A con man knows when a woman is faking desire. So I didn't fake it. I enjoyed it. He was young, fit, and eager to please. Why shouldn't I have a little fun while I built the case against him? But while he slept, I worked. One night, after he had drifted off, I slipped out of bed. I wrapped myself in my silk robe and took his phone from the nightstand. I went into the bathroom and locked the door. I used an unlocking tool I bought online. It took 2 minutes. I scrolled through his texts. I found a conversation with a contact named The Broker. Caleb, she's hooked. Buy me a Rolex tomorrow. The Broker, good. How much is she worth? Caleb, millions. She trusts me. I'm going to pitch the investment opportunity next week. The Broker, don't get attached. Get the wire transfer and ghost her. Caleb, she's old, man. It's just a job. I'll be done with her by the 15th. I took screenshots of everything. I forwarded them to my secure email. I deleted the sent messages. I put the phone back. I crawled back into bed. Caleb stirred. He reached for me, pulling me close. Veronica, he mumbled. You're amazing. I know, I whispered, stroking his hair. I looked at the ceiling. You think I'm old? You think this is just a job? I decided then and there, I wasn't just going to send him to jail, I was going to humiliate him. The next morning, over coffee by the pool, I set the hook. Caleb, I said, looking worried, I have a problem. What is it, babe? He was shirtless, swimming in my pool, looking like an Adonis. My accountant called. He says I have too much cash sitting in my savings. He wants me to invest it, but I don't trust the stock market right now. Caleb stopped swimming. He swam to the edge. How much cash? He asked casually. About 2 million, I said. I just don't know what to do with it. Caleb climbed out of the pool. He dripped water onto the patio. He knelt beside my chair and took my hand. Caleb, he said, his eyes full of fake sincerity. I didn't want to mix business with pleasure, but I might have a solution. My company has a private real estate fund. It returns 20% a month. Really? I asked, batting my eyelashes. Do you think they would let me in? For you? He smiled. I can pull some strings. I can get you a meeting with my partner. Oh, Caleb, I kissed him. You're my hero. The partner is in town this weekend. Maybe we can host him here. A dinner party? Perfect, I said. Invite him. Invite your friends. Let's make it a party. I watched him walk away to make the call. He was calling his crew. He was bringing the wolves to my door. He didn't know that I had just invited them into the slaughterhouse. Saturday night. The air was thick with humidity and expensive perfume. My villa looked like a spread in Vogue. I hired a catering staff, specifically a team recommended by Detective Miller. The bartender, an undercover officer. The valet, an undercover officer. I wore a dress that cost more than Caleb's car. Emerald green silk, backless, dangerous. Caleb arrived at 7 p.m. He looked nervous but excited. The adrenaline of the big score was hitting him. You look breathtaking, Veronica, he said, kissing my neck. I dressed up for your partner, I whispered. I want to make a good impression. Oh, you will, he grinned. At 7:30 p.m., a black SUV pulled up. 2 men got out. The first was a muscle-bound bodyguard type. The second man, I recognized him instantly from the police file Brenda had shown me. Marcus, the broker. He was older than Caleb, maybe 40. He wore a suit that was actually expensive. He had cold, dead eyes. He was the brains. Caleb was just the pretty face they used to lure women in. "Veronica," Caleb said, leading them in. "This is Marcus, my business partner." "Charmed," Marcus said. He didn't smile. He scanned the room. He looked at the exits. He looked at the bartender. He was a pro. "Welcome to my home," I said, pouring him a drink myself. "Caleb tells me you're a wizard with investments." "We do well," Marcus said, taking the drink but not drinking it. "Caleb says you're looking to diversify." "I am," I sighed, touching my necklace. "My late husband, he was so controlling with money. Now that he's gone, I just want it to grow without me having to think about it." "We can help with that," Marcus said. We sat down to dinner. The conversation was a dance. Marcus grilled me. He asked about my husband's business. He asked about my banking limits. He was testing me, looking for cracks in my story. I answered every question perfectly. I played the role of the bored, wealthy housewife to a T. I laughed too loud. I drank my wine a little too fast. I touched Caleb's arm constantly. By the main course, Marcus relaxed. He took a sip of his drink. He thought I was an idiot. "So," Marcus said, wiping his mouth, "the buy-in for the fund is usually $5 million, but for Caleb's friend, we can lower it to 2. $2 million? I asked, widening my eyes. "That's a lot of liquid cash." "High risk, high reward," Caleb chimed in, squeezing my knee under the table. "Trust me, babe, I put my own money in." Liar, he didn't have a dime. "Well," I said, looking at Caleb with adoration, "if Caleb trusts you, I trust you." I stood up. "I have my laptop in the study. Shall we do the transfer now? Then we can enjoy dessert." Marcus smiled, a shark showing its teeth. "Lead the way." We walked into my study. I sat at the mahogany desk. Caleb stood behind me, massaging my shoulders. Marcus stood across the desk, watching the screen. I logged into my bank account. I had set up a dummy interface with the FBI cyber team. It showed a balance of $12 million. I heard Caleb intake a sharp breath. He had never seen that many zeros. "Okay," I said, my hand hovering over the mouse. $2 million. To which account? Marcus handed me a slip of paper. "This routing number. It's an offshore holding account in Belize for tax purposes." "Of course," I said. I typed in the numbers. I looked up at Caleb. "I'm doing this for us," I said softly, "so we can build a future." "For us," Caleb echoed. He was practically salivating. I clicked transfer. The screen loaded. A spinning wheel. Processing. Processing. Transaction approved. Caleb exhaled. Marcus smirked. "Pleasure doing business with you, Veronica," he said, reaching for the paper to take it back. I put my hand over the paper. "Oh, we aren't done." My voice changed. The sultriness was gone. The confused widow act evaporated. I looked Marcus dead in the eye. "Now that the transaction is logged, the wire fraud charge is federal." Marcus froze. "Excuse me?" Caleb laughed nervously. "Veronica, what are you talking about? Let's go have champagne." "Sit down, Caleb," I ordered. I didn't shout. I just commanded. Caleb sat. "You think you just stole $2 million, I said, standing up and walking around the desk, "but you didn't transfer that money to Belize. You transferred it to a secured holding account monitored by the FBI Cyber Crimes Division." Marcus reached into his jacket. He was reaching for a weapon. "Don't," I said. "You're a cop?" Marcus hissed. "No," I said. "I'm the bait." I picked up the remote on my desk and clicked it. The large TV screen on the wall turned on. It played a video. It was Caleb and Marcus sitting in their car an hour ago. "Is she dumb enough to sign?" Caleb. "She's clueless. She's just a lonely old cougar. I'll sleep with her one more time tonight to keep her happy, then we bail." Caleb's face went white. He looked at the screen, then at me. Veronica, I didn't mean that. I was just talking tough. You called me old, I said, walking up to him. I ran a finger down his cheek. You said I was clueless. I love you, he cried. You love the money, I said, and here is the best part. I turned to the door. Service, I called out. The bartender walked in. He wasn't holding a tray, he was holding a Glock 19. The valet walked in. He was holding a badge. Federal agents, the bartender shouted, hands where I can see them. Marcus lunged for the window. The glass shattered, not because he broke it, but because a SWAT team rappelled through it. It was chaos. Beautiful, controlled chaos. Marcus was tackled to the ground. He was screaming curses. Caleb just sat in the chair. He looked at me. He looked like a child who had lost his mother. Veronica, he whispered. Why? Because my friend Brenda lost her house because of men like you, and because you bored me, Caleb. The sex was mediocre, and your conversation was cheap. The officer pulled Caleb up and cuffed him. You set me up, Caleb, he said, tears streaming down his face. You made me love you. I made you love a reflection, I said. You saw what you wanted to see, a victim, but you never looked closely enough to see the teeth. They dragged them out of the study. Detective Miller walked in. He holstered his gun. Clean sweep, Miller said. We got the transfer logs, we got the confession on tape. Marcus is wanted in 5 states. Caleb is looking at 10 years for conspiracy and fraud. Detective Miller looked at me. You okay, Veronica? I poured myself a glass of the wine Marcus hadn't touched. I'm fine, detective, I said. Just a little tired. Being in love is exhausting. The trial was quick. With the audio recordings, the video evidence, and the digital trail I had helped build, they didn't have a prayer. Marcus pled guilty to avoid a life sentence. He got 25 years. Caleb tried to write me letters from prison. I really did love you, V. Please, help me. I burned them in my fireplace. I went to visit Brenda. I gave her a check. It wasn't the full $200,000 she lost. The government seized Marcus's assets, so she would get it back eventually, but it was enough to save her house. You did this? Brenda asked, crying. You put yourself in danger for me? It wasn't danger, darling, I smiled. It was sport. 6 months later, I was back at the Sapphire Lounge. I was wearing a blue dress this time, sapphire to match the room. I was sitting at the bar, sipping a martini. A young man walked up, blonde, maybe 24, wearing a suit that was too tight. Is this seat taken? He asked, flashing a bright, predatory smile. I looked him up and down. I saw the cheap shoes. I saw the hungry eyes. It is now, I said. I'm Justin, he said. I look like a woman who needs some company. I swirled my olive. I'm Veronica, I said, and I think you should run along, Justin. Why? He laughed, leaning in. Don't you like younger men? I leaned forward. I whispered in his ear. I eat younger men for breakfast, and I'm not hungry tonight. He pulled back, confused and a little scared by the look in my eye. He walked away. I checked my phone. Detective Miller had sent me a text. New target identified in Palm Beach. Wealthy widows being targeted by a luxury car leasing scam. Interested? I typed back. Pack my bags. I look great in a convertible. To everyone watching this, they tell women that as we age, we become invisible. They tell us we lose our power. They are wrong. We become dangerous. We become invisible to the ones who underestimate us, and that makes us the perfect hunters. So if a young man with a bright smile tells you that he is your dream woman and asks for your bank account number, don't give him your heart, give him hell. This is Veronica. If you enjoyed this story of the hunter becoming the prey, please hit the like button and subscribe to Granny Archive Stories. And I have a question for you. Have you ever been targeted by a romance scammer? How did you handle it? Tell me in the comments. I read everything. Stay beautiful. Stay dangerous.